Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast, where art accelerates business, design drives performance, and we explore the culture of speed with athletes, business leaders, and creatives who define it. Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast, episode 125. We are recording on a frigid, sunny winter morning on Tuesday, so last minute pod recording per usual.
What we hate to do, what we said we were going to stop doing. We've been pretty good the last few weeks, but
it is what it is.
This work caught up to us, and the winter apocalypse that did not happen also threw our schedule off a little bit. But it is like it was 14 degrees when I walked to the studio this morning, which is insane. Yeah, I actually don't remember. It's been a long time since it's been that cold.
I think I just block out all the cold memories from the previous years, so I can't say that I don't did it get this cold last year? I mean, on the snow day it had to have been pretty cold.
It wasn't in the teens.
Really?
It's been a long time. I feel like it's been a long time during the day. I think we dropped to teens at night, but I'm walking in the daylight. Yeah, and it's 14 degrees.
It's pretty nice out right now though.
Yeah, I went outside and was like, oh, it's warmed up, and I looked and it's 28.
See, we as humans, we adapt very quickly.
Imagine living in Canada, though. That's what I keep thinking.
Yeah. About. Well, I think I told you I stumbled upon this woman that lives in Alaska, and it's negative 40 degrees. They're trapped because the ice trucks can't get to them to bring them fuel, and the whole town just shuts down, and they I don't know how they survive. It's crazy.
There's no riding bikes there, that's for sure.
No, all they're doing is fishing and whaling and fishing for whales, and I'm not really sure how you do that, but
fishing for whales.
Well, because they whale meat. It's a pretty big part of their culture.
I think it's just whaling.
Whaling.
Yeah, because whales aren't fish.
That's true.
Yeah,
mammaling.
They're
for
very
whale.
intelligent mammals that they eat.
Well, we've got a mammal, but is not that intelligent. So
yeah, maybe we could trade her for a whale. Yeah, so that's what's going on. It has us indoors, has me on the Wahoo rollers, power rollers.
Doesn't have me indoors.
Zwifting, probably more than I've Zwifted all in 2025.
But you said today you had a good Zwift session.
It wasn't bad. This new thing I do where I watch YouTube that's related to work, in my mind it's related to work, it makes me feel less guilty about being on the trainer. And I also can educate myself on things that I normally wouldn't take the time to do.
Why do you feel guilty on the trainer at 7 a.m.?
I don't know. I just do. There's something about...
Because I have zero guilt
riding the trainer that I don't know if it's because it's here in the studio or no, because it would have been the same thing at the house. There's something about it. It's this is a waste of time. I could be checking my email or doing something work related. I don't know. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
It's why do I you asked me last week? Why do I ride in silence for 5 hours?
Yeah.
It's the same. I got no answer. But yeah, it's been a cool thing to go down these YouTube rabbit holes. I don't know why I've never done that before.
I don't know either. You used to say that you just would stop pedaling.
Yeah. Well, when I would try, people would be I watch shows.
Yeah.
I definitely cannot watch a show.
For me, I have to look at my actual power the whole time. So, which I never ride the trainer, so it doesn't really matter. But
I think if you're doing workouts, see, that's the thing is I'm past the point of doing structured workouts. Mm-hmm. I'm basically just zone tuning the whole time.
Yeah.
And I know what that feels like in my legs. I guess so I can just feel that. And then I can feel if I'm dropping or not. And, I am doing there's a group ride thing.
Yeah.
So I make sure I stay with a group.
I like the group rides. Those can be kind of I don't know. They're not really fun, but you can just look at random avatars the whole time.
Well, it helps you helps you stay.
Yeah.
Motivated.
Helps you stay in the group.
Yeah. So that's going on. You've been running outside in the frigid temperatures.
Yeah, I just bundle up and get it done.
No crampons necessary.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about the Winter Olympics are starting next week.
Yeah, we wanted to do what we did last year, which was rate or talk about the Olympic uniforms that are usually, pretty cool. They've only released a few of the uniforms, one of which being Team USA. So you did want to touch on that, Ralph Lauren doing it again.
Well, I think we saved that. I think, Mongolia always has the best kits, but I think let's save it for when it comes out. What I said was not connected to the Winter Olympics, but Rapha just released the new USA cycling kit.
Yeah. I think it looks really cool. It's really different. Rapha always does cool stuff with their look what they... Wait, does EF still use Rapha?
Nope. They're with ASOS now.
Oh, okay. Well, when when EF was with Rapha, they had really cool stuff. Yeah. I think it looks good. It's different.
It's so different. I mean, USA Cycling has had the same... And this is like the national team kit we're talking about. Not like the USA Cycling supporter team kit. Like, this is the national team kit that you have to earn basically to wear. It has looked the same for a long time, and no shade to our friends at Corey who's been making them for probably the last 10 years. I think there was just a more traditional approach where Rapha came with a completely fresh perspective. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But it's funny because it's so different. It's like light blue and. They're really making a big focus on...
There's kind of like a subtle pattern in it. And
yeah, it's made up by a bunch of subtle patterns in it. But their focus on America is really interesting all of a sudden. I guess they're technically owned by Americans now, so that makes sense. But only 20% of their business currently comes from the U.S.
Really?
So it's a huge market opportunity for them.
Maybe, I was going to say, they're just probably to expand more.
Yeah, although they announced closing a bunch of the clubhouses, basically all the ones in the U.S. But I think they're trying to get profitable for the first time, and maybe this kit will help them do it.
Yeah, hopefully. Speaking of national team kits, all of that, we've talked about it multiple times. We have a really big year coming up with Michael, with Cole, and wanted to give on this one-on-one kind of a quick rundown of what the plan is this year. We are planning on having Michael and Cole on the podcast at some point soon to talk about their, view and perspective of the schedule. But Chad, kind of give us a quick rundown.
Well, we keep getting a lot of questions around, and we put it in our newsletter. So I think that answered a lot of questions, but I still get a lot of questions like, what's Michael's schedule this year? What are y'all doing?
How do we watch him?
Right, exactly. So we thought it'd be good for us to kind of talk through just the first, maybe get through May.
Yeah.
Because this looks a lot different. I mean, in the past, we've been entirely focused on the U.S. racing scene. Probably a little bit heavier, definitely way heavier on Criterium. Early spring has been Criterium heavy. It's going to look a lot different this year. So now we've got two professionals. We've got, I even start, we're going to launch Look and Feel, assuming everything goes right in the next week with the photography and
shipping delays,
shipping and everything else. We'll be launching that team launch on the 6th of February coming up next week. And then Michael and Cole turn around leaving on the 9th to head to Spain for Sandoval. And actually our friends at Basso are going to have a whole activation that week because the Palta 3 is going to launch on February 10th, which we already have several of them here in the studio, and they are amazing. I wish people could see them, but you can't. Not yet.
Can't see them.
And then we actually, going back to the 6th, we're going to have our launch party also at the studio here on February 6th, so the night of February 6th. So you might be able to get a sneak peek of something if you come then. So Sandoval, which has turned into be one of the biggest gravel races all of a sudden. Everyone's going, Keegan's going, beers, all of them.
Is it a big prize purse or something, or just hype?
I think it's more of the association with the Traca, which I think is becoming more and more important in the gravel scene.
So are the Traca people putting on this Sandoval?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and it's in Girona.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same roads, but it is in Girona. It's put on by the Traca. So they'll be there then, and then they're going to do some road races in the following week. So they're going to be doing gravel and then turn around and do some UCI road races. Small road races, but still to go there for
waking the legs up.
Yeah. Then on the 7th of March,
my birthday.
Your birthday, you'll be doing UTMB Puerto Vallarta, and we'll be sending Cole to Valley of Tears.
Yes.
Our friend Micah Rice is putting on Valley of Tears in Texas, also becoming a much more important big gravel race because it's so early. And
are they having the gravel crit again?
They are having the gravel crit.
Okay, all right.
I haven't talked to Cole whether or not he wants to do the gravel crit. I think he might have to. But that'll be fun. Then Michael actually will be at Strada Bianchi with Cask and Coup, not racing, but just doing some content stuff there. And then he'll be flying back. They'll both go to Mid-South on the 14th, which is also a big race. And then that's gets us halfway through March. we will then be looking into April, where we'll have the big race weekend will be April 16th through the 18th, where they'll both be at Sea Otter Classic for the gravel for the Lifetime Grand Prix first event. Sea Otter, that's a Thursday. They're then going to turn around, fly out on Friday, get to Atlanta, and then Athens Twilight is the 18th.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
The 18th. Guess we need to book accommodations.
Yeah, we'll be doing a big activation around there. There will be, I'll go ahead and tell you, there's going to be a new kit release
really
that
exciting.
weekend. We'll be doing a lot of cool content that'll be happening then. We're talking to some friends about doing some collaboration stuff at the race.
And we might open up the kit for supporter orders.
Maybe I don't know. We might have a supporter kit. Maybe
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Supporter, like a separate kit, but looks similar.
Yes, and then so that's going to be a huge weekend for the program,
as always.
because both guys will be racing both races. We'll be trying to get Cole a good spot at Sea Otter so he can qualify for the wild card. And then obviously
the Lifetime Grand Prix wild card.
Yeah, Lifetime Grand Prix wild card.
I feel like we're speaking a different language. If you do not race bikes, people are like, wait. Even if people ride bikes, they still probably have no idea what we're talking about.
I guess I should say Sea Otters in Monterey, California.
Yes.
That's what makes this crazy. Monterey, California to Athens, Georgia in 24 hours. And it's just it's like to describe how completely different these two types of events are and the types of racing that occurs. Sea Otters be a long, hard day.
Yeah.
Whereas Athens Twilight is an hour and a half effort of pure insanity.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Trying to keep the bike upright.
And they'll both be favorites for Twilight too.
Definitely. Yeah.
And obviously Michael's kind of the hometown guy there. So then the next weekend, Cole will be doing Levi's Gran Fondo, one of the hardest road races in America. Michael won't be doing that. So Michael might be doing LaGrange that weekend. It's LaGrange and then Greenville's that Thursday. So he's going to do a couple of crits. I'm sorry. No, he's taking off right after that and then going back to Spain for Traca.
Okay.
Traca is May 2nd. A lot of those, we just found out Speed Week has been canceled.
Yes, going away.
So that was always a big focus of the program was Speed Week, which we're fine with.
Seems like USA Crits is absorbing the races, so
Yeah.
I don't really, it's kind of weird. They just posted on their website saying that Speed Week is no longer, but USA Crits is going to be taking something. So.
Yeah, USA Crits still has Sunny King, which would be on April 11th. I don't think they're going to do Sunny King.
Yeah.
We're working on something else that week that we're not ready to announce. But LaGrange and Greenville and Spartanburg are all USA Crits. We're just not going to be able to do them. Yeah. Because, again, Cole's going back to California to race Levi's, and then Michael's going to be going to Spain to race Traca on the 2nd. Michael will then be staying. Traca, by the way, is one of the biggest gravel races. It's the biggest gravel race in Europe. We
went to it last year. You did part of it.
I did part of it. Crashed and did not want to do anymore. But it's, that's going to be a really, really big week. Yeah. For Michael and the program too. He's going to stay there and then do the Lincoln Grand Prix in in England, the following weekend, the 9th. And then I think Cole's going to be doing
this is just
the Rule
confusing.
of 3 gravel, May 16th. And then we've got some other crits later in May that they might be doing. So that gets us through May, but really it's that first weekend of June that I want to get us to because that's Tulsa Tough. Yeah. And that's going to be one of the other kind of key events for us where we will be releasing yet another kit. Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise, for Tulsa Tough and doing a lot of activations around that. So that's everything we have planned through the first week of June. June gets us into Via Crit, where we'll be going back to London.
We're actually going for that.
We'll actually be going to the Basso Owners Club trip starting on June 11th, and then going to Via Crit the next weekend. Yeah. Via Crit is a criterion. Via Crit. Although the founder said Via.
No, he says Via.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's like Via Crit.
It's in the heart of London. It's a really cool course. It's gotten a lot of attention.
They have road race, gravel race, running race.
Yeah, they have everything. And it's given us a lot of inspiration around what could be in Atlanta. I mean,
and I think we'll try and have the founder of Via Crit on the pod when we get closer to the event, because we had a call with him last year. Super, super cool guy. So would love to get more details around that. Like, because he's a designer, a creative by trade, and then is a bike enthusiast and a cyclist himself. So he kind of took his passion for design and bike riding and combined it. So needless to say, we all have a lot in common, and he's a very interesting, cool guy. So definitely need to get him on the pod.
Very successful designer.
Much more successful than us from a designing perspective.
And so that gets us to June, which will also be US Pro. I mean, we got all the normal. That'll be US Pro Time Trial will be a big focus for Michael as well. He got 4th last year. We'd love to get him on the podium and really expand this idea of a racer that can do everything. But yeah, it's funny because Via Crit, there's a Zurich Crit, which I think also is going to be one of the biggest crits in the world in Zurich later in the season, which Mike will be going to. We might as well. It definitely, and we talked about this with Michael from Via, not Michael Garrison, but we talked about, he's like, what's the criterium scene like in Atlanta? And we haven't had criterium in Atlanta in several years since Grant Park ceased to exist, which I founded and ran for 10 years. But really, that wasn't a inner city like crit. That was more of a circuit race.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like there weren't a lot of big teams going to it.
No.
It was more local.
In the early 2000s, myself, and Scott DeMeyer put on a criterium in Buckhead.
Yeah.
The Buckhead Gran Prix, which was a pretty big deal. It had a short life. I think it was 3 or 4 years we did it. But it got
what happened to it?
What now is the Buckhead Village. All the construction started.
I see. Okay.
And it was too disruptive. And my boss was the one doing all the construction.
Yeah.
And he was like, Chad, we just can't do this anymore. It's like, it's too. And the road, the course, the way they built it, the course went away.
Oh, I see.
It was that. And then also the main road had the speed humps installed.
Yeah.
So it became impossible for us to do anymore. And, there's a group of us that have talked about, could a big race like Via happen in Atlanta downtown? That's our dog barking in the background, by the way, just because she loves to bark whenever we're on the podcast.
All right. So downtown crit, South downtown, what is the potential there?
I think it's got huge potential. I mean, South downtown Atlanta is going through one of the largest economic redevelopments in the history of United States right now. And so you've got a lot of money and energy going into how do we revitalize a completely abandoned downtown urban area that's, in one of the biggest cities in America.
Yeah.
And a lot of energy around that. So why not have an event that brings people down there?
And to give people context, like Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, South downtown, which is obviously just slightly south of downtown, it's been completely run down and uninhabited for decades.
Decades, yeah.
And at one point, it was a really cool, thriving metropolis of the city. I mean, the buildings were really unique. The train station was insane that went through downtown, bringing people there, bringing workers back and forth. There's a lot of history there that just feels like it's been completely erased. So I think this is the opportunity to rebuild that history and then infuse obviously some newer, some current things that are happening, like a bike race, like the new stadium, like all of the new, Atlanta United's not new, but it is relatively new in the history of Atlanta. There's so much newness coming to Atlanta that it just feels like this is the time to revitalize that historical part.
Yeah, I mean, you've got CIM is the main developer, and then you've got David Cummings and his group also that has really bought all of Mitchell Street, and you already have 3, if not 4, brand new hotels that are almost ready to open. You've got a lot of new businesses going in there, and just frankly, like they built a bridge that goes on elevated roads by the stadium and then comes back around through Mitchell Street. The optics of how badass this would look if we ran a nighttime criterium with professionals, it would like blow everyone away.
It kind of reminds me of like, remember the crit, the national championship crit in Knoxville a few years ago?
Yeah.
How they went over multiple bridges, and it was like such a cool thing because it looked really unique, and I don't know. I kind of have like a vision, like maybe that's what it'll be like. It's just this really
just in the middle with skyscrapers everywhere.
Yeah,
and and you'd have the stadium in the background. I mean, Scott and I went and pre-rode like what the route, what the course could look like, and you got a couple of different options, but there's this new bridge that they've built that's just like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's really, 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 really perfect. So there's a group of us talking about how could this be pulled off, and obviously it comes down to funding because we know how to put a race on. So we'll see. So if anyone's interested in sponsoring a bike race,
we're gonna need money. We're gonna need people. We're gonna need volunteers. There's a lot that's gonna have to happen to make this work. But fingers crossed.
It could be really cool.
It could be really cool. So everyone's heard us talk about the Atlanta cycling scene, and obviously there's iconic group rides. They're huge. There's a lot of people that ride bikes here, and even though most people, when they think of Atlanta, they probably do not think of a cycling city, it really is, which is why I think the crit would work. But, you know, we also were just reminiscing on the history of cycling in Atlanta, because that fascinates me. This year is my 10th year riding bikes.
Yeah, hard to believe.
In October. So I was asking you, like, tell me more about, I don't know, the history of Atlanta cycling.
Yeah, and I've said this on the podcast before. We've done group rides all over the world. Mm-hmm. We've gone to every major city in the United States and done their group rides, save for Tucson Shootout. But I've done Swamis in San Diego. I've obviously done Don Pond in Miami. I've gone everywhere. There's no better cycling culture in America, in my opinion. If you like riding with other people, then
I think Miami has a great cycling culture. It's just different.
It's much different. I mean, Don Pond's super intense, but every ride in Atlanta is super intense.
Yeah.
And they don't have the diversity of rides like we have. You know, we're a city of 7 million people, so you've got group rides. You know, during the season, during the summer, you've got 4 or 5 different group rides going every single night.
Yeah.
With 50 plus people on them. And, you know, think about all the way up to Webbridge. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy. Like, most cities, they have one, they go to Regent's Park in London, you know, like, or
Central Park.
Or Central Park, or they go to, you know, Key Biscayne, right? Like, here, you literally have unlimited options if you want to ride with people. It's not like a California, Colorado scene where people just ride alone. You don't see that often here.
Yeah.
So that culture comes, and I don't know even how to describe the origin of it, because it was already happening whenever I started 26 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, where did that start?
I mean, I talked to some of the old timers, and they're like, as long as we remember, there's been these big group rides here. And I think it's a result of the car culture here.
Yeah.
You've got to ride in groups.
What was Chisel's first group ride that he ever did?
I would love to. I will have to find out.
I'm genuinely curious.
Might have been Tucker.
Might have been, yeah.
And so Tucker is, you know, one of those iconic group rides that we have. Tucker changed a lot
after the pandemic.
During the pandemic. It's now, you know, broken into multiple groups. The slow B or C group, they're much larger than the A group. The A group's almost dead. Like, I went to it, I've gone to it twice in the last few weeks, and it's like 10 to 12 people. But it used to be, also because I think Airport has become so big and so iconic in itself. Airport was a recovery ride that only went in the winter. Now it's basically all year round. Tucker just got so hard. Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing.
And it's hard, and it's dangerous if you get dropped by yourself. Like, Airport ride is dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as getting dropped on Tucker.
Well, that's kind of what made Tucker special, because it becomes a life or death situation. Like, you have to turn yourself inside out.
I have never suffered more in my, like, I've suffered a lot on Airport. Airport is hard, but this type of suffering, because there's just more climbing on Tucker, I've never suffered that much in my entire life, to the point where, like, I think the people I run with think I'm, like, so soft, because I just don't want to suffer that bad anymore. But it's because I feel like I had, like, a lifetime of suffering condensed into, like, 7 years of riding.
Yeah.
And Tucker is, I mean, when I think of, if I were to think of a ride that gives me PTSD, it's 100% Tucker.
Yeah, it's so hard. The course is so hard. You know you have to stay with the group, like you said, because if you don't stay with the group,
there's potholes everywhere. I mean, it's
super dangerous.
Chaos.
Potholes, yeah. So that then led us into, when we talked about our friend Kirk passing away on Christmas Day, I was asked to share like a story about the good old days.
Yeah.
So I did. I put pen to paper. I've told this story a million times. But I put pen to paper and then also got Chisel, Scott Hilburn, and Mark Lindenberg, since they're key
part of the story
players in the story, along
main
with Kirk,
characters,
to verify facts. So we were pretty spot on the facts. There's a couple discrepancies, but for the most part.
And you've had a request. So you read this at the funeral, but you've had a lot of requests for people that weren't there, that they wanted to hear the story as well. So
people have asked me to email it to them.
Yeah. So we thought, what a better way to describe not only our good friend, but the Atlanta cycling culture in all of its glory and rawness.
It's especially when you talk to people from other towns.
They're like, wait, what? That happens
like, this
there?
is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's called the Perfect Tucker. And I've been referring to the Perfect Tucker for
as long as I can remember.
For a long time. And so this is a historical reflection by myself, along with contributions from Mark Lindenberg and Scott Hilburn.
You sounded like such a lawyer just now.
Sorry. So the ride starts in Tucker, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta, I guess we would say. The date was April 14th, 2007. So how many years ago was that?
9.
No, 14.
Sorry. 14.
Saturday, 9 a.m. is when it started. So I'm just going to read it, and then you can kind of ask me some things. So,
okay.
It was a simpler era. Before social media, before GPS files, before every ride needed a cinematic recap. There was none of that.
I think that's a better time in history, to be honest with you.
It was peak cycling in America. It was peak Lance. So many more people rode. So many new people rode. And the interesting thing was the Tour de Georgia sat right in the middle of it. It was the top UCI event in the United States. World Tour teams came, Lance came, etc. So Tour Week for us always made the Tucker ride, feel like a prologue to the prologue of the race, because you had pros, you had World Tour teams, you had media people. I remember talking to guys from Velo News and Cycling News and from Europe. They were all there, and they would all come here, all these industry types, to do this.
How did people learn about
it was renowned. It's this renowned group ride. You think about, you go into a town, you're like, what's the best group ride?
Yeah.
Everyone is Tucker, go to Tucker. So that field that day, we were well over 100 people rolling through Main Street. What that's like. So that doesn't happen anymore. The weather was perfect. It was one of those perfect spring days in Atlanta that we get. It's 72 and sunny. There's no wind. It's just those are the days where we're like, okay, this is why we
Atlanta's amazing. Yeah.
The group was flying, and with it being so big, and this was when the route was different too. We didn't do Publix, so you actually went really fast up Farmer, and if you could ride fast, you could stay with the group. And so it was pretty big still by the time we got to Stonecrest Mall, and Stonecrest Mall at that time was a 5-lane highway, basically. Still is. But the road looked like shit. I mean, it was all torn up. It's been paved multiple times since then. So we all kind of knew where the holes were. But a full third of the group at that time were out of towners and pros, professionals that were here to race the Tour de Georgia.
So were you all calling things out so that the pros wouldn't crash?
Hell no. There's no calling anything out.
You're
on Tucker.
Every man and woman for herself.
And that is a for better or for worse, maybe, I guess just for worse, that is unfortunately a cultural norm in Atlanta.
I would say there's just a lot less rules here, which it's kind of like an HOA. If you have an HOA with very few rules, there's a lot of benefits to that, meaning when you want to not have to follow rules, it's great. But there's also some negative, which is when the lack of rules work against you, that it's not great.
Yes, exactly. And that is a thing hard. We've gotten better. Like people call us stuff more.
Yeah.
But back then, no one called out anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark was on the front. Mark Lindbergh was on the front on his time trial bike. Now, right now, you're going to say, well, time trial bikes aren't allowed on group rides. I agree. They're not. They are absolutely not, Mark, allowed on group rides, but he's been doing the Tucker ride on his time trial bike since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Since 2000. And he's the only one that's ever been allowed to do it. He's the only one that no one yells at because he's good.
Well, he's skilled.
He's good. He's okay. Sorry, he's okay. But, he was on the front driving the pace because, of course, he was. And then to this day, the next moment is fiercely debated. And it's, did Mark call out the pothole or did he not? To this question,
I would say no.
Well, it's never been resolved.
It's never been confirmed.
The question has never been resolved. Unfortunately, it really doesn't matter because either way, the group detonated behind him. We had like 10 to 15 riders hit the deck. It was a full yard sale of just like
who hit the
wheels, limbs, carbon, etc. I got tangled up. I didn't hit the deck hard, but I got all tangled up.
Who hit the pothole? Was that ever confirmed?
Chisel.
Oh, Chisel actually hit the pothole. Okay.
Yeah. So from the pile of people, Chisel, who I pointed out at Kirk's reception, is a person with only one name, effectively, like Madonna or Prince in Atlanta. He got out of that pile and staggered forward like a man who had been wronged both by gravity and his peers. He was operating under the firm belief that Mark absolutely did not call out the hole. And he launched into this classic profanity-laced monologue that we really don't have a modern equivalent anymore because social media.
Because people just put their phone in your face and record
exactly.
you.
Like back then, you just had to just admire it. So and it took so long. You're like, wow, it's pretty creative. So you're kind of stunned, but it's kind of admirable at the same time that you could connect all those words together. So that's where Kirk entered the story, and Kirk took issue with Chisel going, full you can't handle the truth mode on Mark, and he, went into kind of you can't yell at my friend mode, and Chisel screamed, "It's not your fault." No, wait, "It's not your fight." That's what he screamed at him, and
that's Chisel's voice for those who have no idea what we're talking about.
And then that's the moment he threw a bottle, which is also a classic move that used to happen a lot in Atlanta. It doesn't happen anymore, where people would throw bottles at you if you
more
did something
people
wrong.
Need to get bottles thrown at them, in my opinion.
We can't confirm whether or not it hit. I think it hit Kirk. There's still some argument there, but it's unclear. So, the whole thing is just kind of the next few moments are just a haze of adrenaline and kind of disbelief of this is happening right now. So it set off basically what could be described as the world's saddest fist fight. So this is for folks today, this is in the dark age of speed play cleats. Everyone in Atlanta rode speed play. So there's no plastic covers. It was just raw metal on asphalt. So metal on asphalt. It was like an ice skate.
Yeah, it was like an ice skate.
Ice skating rink. It really was. If you had to walk anywhere, you had to be.
So you couldn't even go into gas stations.
No, you had to be so careful. We walked like little ducks because we were so terrified of.
That would have been funny.
So you had these two grown men trying to fight while standing basically on a frozen lake. That frozen lake happened to be a 5-lane highway, where now all 5 lanes of traffic had stopped. Because there's 80 cyclists and they probably look like we're in our underwear.
100%.
And I remember both Chisel and Kirk were in full white kit. So white. Wow. I think they were on the same team. I think they were on the AXA team at the same. So white bibs, white jersey. And
imagine being in the car. I mean, your kid's "Mommy, look at these guys fighting."
Exactly.
It would have been so crazy.
But they really weren't. It's I wrote here they were attempting hand-to-hand combat, but the whole thing really looked less like a brawl and more like a Three Stooges black and white film. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so, as this spectacle unfolded, Jeff Hopkins, who didn't live here, he lives here now, but he was this Australian pro on the Jittery Joe's team, on Micah's team. And he turned to me and said, you guys do this every week, mate? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. But eventually the fight resolved itself. And this is the funny part. It's didn't resolve itself through like victory, like through one of them winning, but it was just like physics. Like it just wasn't happening.
They just couldn't keep trying to fight anymore because they were sliding all over the place.
And so no one said anything. It was just complete silence, 80 people, no discussion, no debrief, no apologies. Everyone just clipped back in and we went back full throttle on the group ride. And I'm pretty sure Kirk won the final sprint. There used to be a real final sprint.
Yeah, on the highway.
On the highway. So yeah, that was, like I said, that was Kirk always standing up for everyone. Everyone was a brother to him. And, Kirk and Chisel laughed about the Perfect Tucker for years and years to come. I mean, it wasn't like this is like a rivalry that lasted. It was more of a funny thing that happened. But
that just shows you the culture of Atlanta cycling.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy anymore, again, because of phones. But it's definitely like everyone, you can have your differences, but at the end of the day, it feels like everyone takes care of each other because of how big the group rides are and how you pretty much see the same people at the same group ride every week for years.
Yeah. Even if you're not like going to dinner with them, right? Like you and I mentioned it then, like I think about 26 years of group rides in Atlanta riding with Kirk. We probably averaged at least 3 to 5 rides every week.
Yeah. It's like working
each one of those rides was 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's like tens of thousands of hours you spend with someone. You don't need to spend any time with them off the bike. It's like you get to know people, and when the rides are so hard and there's like so much character and culture involved, you just really get to know people. Like you get to know what the core, what they are. So.
I do wish that it was still more like, what's interesting is I was actually thinking about this as you were talking, because you and I have theorized like what happened to the group rides during COVID, because they have, like, everyone knows it, everyone's commented on it. The group rides just aren't the same as they used to be. And part of me, I think part of it is people got out of the habit of going to rides.
Definitely.
But I also think part of it is social media. So hear me out. So it used to be that before 2020, because you think about like 2020 was really like big TikTok took off in 2020. And then generations that were only on Facebook were now getting onto Instagram. So it was like Instagram generations switched to TikTok, Facebook generations switched to Instagram, and older generations who weren't on anything were switching on to Facebook. So there was kind of this big like pivot of how people like showed up in the world, a lot of which is now digitally. So my theory is that people used to show up to the group rides because if you didn't show up to the group ride, how would anyone know that you actually rode your bike or that you were strong or that you had big power numbers? Because you weren't documenting, especially like back then, 2007, you weren't documenting every ride on Strava. I lump Strava in with social media.
There was no Strava.
There was none of that. So if you didn't show up, they'd be like,
you're nobody.
You're nobody. Even if Chad Strickland rides by himself every single week, you're still a nobody because you aren't recording on anything and no one can see what you're doing. So I think a lot of it was like, now people get their like fake clout from social media. So like, oh, here's my power numbers. Here's my sprint numbers. Oh, I went out and did this hard ride by myself. Let me put up my Strava on my Instagram and TikTok. You just didn't have that back then. So the clout was coming from actually showing up to the group rides. And I think
so right.
That shifted in 2020. I think
it was happening way before then.
I think
that was just like that accelerated what was already happening. But you're so right. I mean, I think back to those early days when I started riding in Atlanta. I moved here and I just was like so enamored with the culture and the people. And there were legends. Like there were like guys that like, Dan Asbury.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knew Skinny Dan because he was fast.
Yeah.
And he was good. And he, he was a character. And like there was all these characters like that. And you showed up to the rides hoping to get better, to hope one day people would know about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And like, and that Dan would acknowledge your existence. I mean, I remember the first time Chisel ever acknowledged he acknowledged my existence before in bad ways, but the goal was to be acknowledged by the guys that were really good.
And even when I started riding, we obviously had Strava, but You didn't have this. I know you didn't post about your Strava on Instagram.
No.
So that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
So my goal was to just stick longer and longer each week so that Chisel and, Kirk and you and all these leaders of the group would see me and say, wow, this girl is really freaking strong.
Yeah, that's the best.
I remember Igor one time, I think he said it to you. I don't think he said it to my face because I was suffering too bad.
Yeah.
But on airport, when we got done, it was my first time sticking on airport long, which those of you who've done it know that A, there's basically no women that do it.
Yep.
And B, the women who do it are insanely strong. So this was like a huge goal of mine, was to just be able, and it took me years.
Yep.
It took me years of doing the same ride over and over every Sunday.
Turn yourself inside out.
To just one day. I think it probably took me 4 or 5 years to be able to stick on this one group ride all the way till the end.
Yeah.
And so when it happened, I remember you said Igor, who's this Russian guy has been in the group ride with, he's big, huge guy, very noticeable, very strong. He said, Nikki is suffering more than any person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
I do remember that.
I mean, I literally, I would turn my, and I wish I could still do this. I think I don't know. I guess I had more demons back then, but
you had more to prove.
Yeah. And that's what it was about. It was about proving to people that you were worthy to be at these group rides. And I see, there's some people that would say maybe that's a little bit toxic. I think that the whole toxic culture talk has driven a wedge between people who just want to ride casually and people who want to ride really hard. But I think that there's a lot of people who are missing out on such a gift that is suffering to the point where you do get accolades and you do get recognition from these elders. It gives you so much confidence.
Yeah.
And so while I understand, you don't want to be toxic, I think people need to get back more into suffering.
People need to suffer again.
No, because it does. If you can suffer with each other and you can suffer through things, you create such strong bonds with people that way. And so anyways, that's kind of my...
I mean, we still have a really strong group ride scene here.
Definitely.
And but it's just not what it used to be.
Yeah.
I think the sport has evolved too. I mean, again, this was peak Lance.
Yeah.
Like, so many people were getting into the sport. I don't think we don't have as many young people getting into the sport. I think
we're like no new women.
Impacted it also because of even the guys that have been doing it for a long time and that we're strong. Like, we're old now.
When was the last time a new girl showed up to Tucker Airport?
I can't even remember.
Every time I go to, it's just the same group. That's always, which is great that people are still showing up.
Well, I don't think new people go to Tucker Airport. They go to Tucker B or Tucker C or Airport B, 910 Airport.
Yeah.
There weren't those options then. And no one wanted those options then. Even if you were started, again, I wanted to show up to the hardest group ride in America and see how long I could stay.
I mean, I didn't want to go to Tucker B. Yeah. Remember, I was like, no, I've started on Tucker A every week and I would just get dropped. Then figure it out.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like that, you're right. Like that was the only way to get clout, if that's how you put it, how you kids put it. But it was a special time, and it's not, I don't think it can be replicated again because of social media.
Yeah.
And
I kind of feel the same way about running. Like our little, muchacho group that runs on Wednesdays, I would consider more like a traditional group run where the same people show up every week, and it's not about. I mean, we take a picture at the beginning of the run, and that's it. We're not like necessarily documenting our entire run every single week. It's not about social media clout. But it's more about showing up and running as hard as the group can run. And a lot of times that pace is pushed by, maybe a couple of guys who are leading the group. And it's a really, as we get into like the summer and it gets faster, essentially winter's like slow and then it gets faster as the year goes on. Mm-hmm. And by the end of, the summer, it is like, it's something to be proud of, to like be able to make it back to the end of the muchacho. I mean, I remember the first time I made it back to the end of the muchacho run, my friend Eric and Tunde, and they were all like, that's freaking amazing. Like, you worked really hard. And I had that feeling again that I used to get from doing the group rides. But you don't get, I love Atlanta Run Club. I love all these, Run Easy. It's very social, but you don't get that same,
suffering.
You don't get that same suffering, and it's all about social media,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it feels like it's all about social media versus really kind of, I don't know, suffering.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree. I mean, airport rides still, there's suffering.
Oh, there's still suffering.
But it's just not the same. I don't, I guess it's the characters aren't the same. Like you just don't have the consistency of the chisels. And it definitely makes me think about, you got to appreciate, and you just don't think about the time. Like at the time I thought 2007 Perfect Tucker, I thought the next day was going to be the next Saturday was going to be the perfect Tucker. You take it for granted because you don't realize how special that moment is and those people that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
And even, at Kirk's funeral was a bit of a reunion of guys that you haven't seen in forever, but you still know them like you rode with them yesterday.
Yeah.
And it really made me think about appreciating the moments because you definitely don't. You need reminders of that every now and then.
I think that's what I love so much about endurance sports, that is so much more than just posting on social media that you ran X miles or you rode X miles or you won some race or you whatever it is that if you are consistent, in order to be a good endurance athlete, you have to be consistent. You can't just run 1 day a week. You can't just ride your bike 1 day a week. You have to run and ride 3, 4, 5 plus days a week in order to be a good endurance athlete. And those rides and runs are a way to chronologically document your days.
Yeah.
Think about how there's very few rides and runs that I don't remember some part of that ride or that run.
Yeah.
And so it's like these little timestamps. The thought of not having the ability to timestamp my day, and I'm sure, a lot of people will say kids are the timestamp of your life, like that's 100% true. Like kids timestamp your life.
Definitely.
But there's a lot to be said about timestamping your life and your day. And when I say timestamping, like really appreciating that timestamp and those memories that you get from each run and each ride. And I think that this has been a great reminder to all of us.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, you asked why'd I just turn off and do that long ride by myself, and I was just like, it reminded you you're lucky to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And that we're able to do it, and that we live in a world that we can do it. Glad we don't live in Alaska because we wouldn't be able to do it.
Exactly.
Like we said. But yeah, so that's the story of the Atlanta
the Perfect Tucker.
The Perfect Tucker and the Atlanta culture of riding bikes and running as well. It's pretty unique. That's why we need it.
It's imperfectly perfect.
It is.
That's the best way to describe it.
That is a great way to describe it. So I guess that's why some of us are thinking about we need something to bring back that reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why the Tour de Georgia was here. Tour de Georgia was the first UCI race to get attention in America. It was before Tour of California and before Utah and these other races. And we need to bring something like that back, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
this honestly was we didn't really know we kind of knew where we were going with the podcast, but we also felt like on the one-on-ones, we like it to just evolve. So hopefully this gave you some perspective into just the daily lives of cycling in Atlanta. If you aren't a cyclist, you're probably extremely lost right now.
Or if you are, you're like, God, I don't know if I want to ride there.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, it's very difficult, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Love it. All right,
well,
thanks for listening, everyone.
Yep, we'll see you next week.